This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and here is the tale of two iPhones for 2024, both Pro models. This is the Pro, this is the Pro Max, 16 Pro Max, iPhone 16 Pro. New color this year, which we have for both sizes, is called Desert Titanium. It replaces that nice subdued blue hue from last year, and it's sort of like rose gold went on a earth tone campaign. As usual, four fairly subdued colors for the Pro models. You want the zingy colors, you actually have to spend less money and get a regular iPhone 16. Anyway, we're going to look at them now. As you no doubt know, not a huge number of changes this year from the 15 Pro line last year to this year, but the important thing is, well, the smaller phone used to not get the 5x telephoto. You were stuck at 3x, now it gets 5x. So we have feature parity, whether you go with the smaller or the larger one. This is an important thing for a lot of people because, oh my God, the Pro Max model, as ever, is a very large phone. It weighs 8 ounces. That is 1/2 pound when you think about that. That's a lot, or 227 grams. The smaller one is 7 ounces versus 8 ounces, or 199 grams versus 227 grams. So for those folks who didn't really want that much size and weight in their pocket, but they wanted the best camera experience possible, now you have choices. And also new this year is a little bit of upsizing, mostly by reducing the bezels, which, I mean, I'm not a member of the bezel police, but still, hello, I looked at the last gen one, I thought those are pretty small bezels. They managed to whack even more bezel here to increase the screen size. So now the smaller one is 6.3 inches. So that's nice. It's really medium-sized phone. So, I mean, I know there are people out there who like the iPhone mini and really, really small phones. I'm sorry for you folks, but for those who kind of just want a decent sized phone and all the features, you've got it now with that 6.3 inch model. And for those of you who want that fabulicious phablet, although not the same aspect ratio, say, as an iPad mini, more square, actually more screen real estate there. But anyway, 6.9 inches, that is living large. And given the fact that the weight is about the same as the 15 Pro line previously, that's pretty good stuff. And given the fact that last gen they did switch to titanium from stainless steel to reduce the weight a little bit, it means that if you're upgrading from even older model, which most likely you are, given how small the changes are every generation, you're not going to really feel much more weight. And the sizing difference isn't all that different because most of it really did come off the bezels. But there is enough of a size difference that you can't use last year's case. You also can't use last year's case because they added a new button. How do you like that? That doesn't happen so often. So we still have the regular action button, which defaults to being the mute button, but you can assign it to be different things like the flashlight or a quick note and all that sort of thing. But now we have the camera control button. This from a company who used to be loath to give you any control over your camera settings when taking a picture. They just wanted you to have that shutter button and choice between photo, video, portrait mode, and all that. So I'm happy to see that because I'm a photographer. I'm enthusiastic about such things, and I do, even though the iPhone does a very good job of picking mostly the right settings in any given situation for photos, I still do want to sometimes be able to control color saturation, exposure, and also that button gives you quick access to things like, well, just taking a picture, you can launch the camera using it, and you can record video. As long as you're pressing and holding it down, you can record a video, but you can use it to do zoom. So it's a little bit smoother than moving your hand, getting it on screen, and using the slidey thing, which always for me resulted in some kind of boomeranging. Then there's you can control your exposure and all that other stuff too. So it's nice to have that. That said, I am not as excited as I thought I would be because it's a little fiddly to use this button that is both a mechanical button but also capacitive and also haptic, and you do feel the feedback, because getting the pressing just right sometimes I find not the easiest thing. Like if I want to switch between different camera controls and all that sort of thing, I suppose muscle memory will help, but I don't know. It does work fine even with some third-party cases that came out and support it, and also with Apple's own like silicone case. So you can use it with a case, and it works about as well. I tried it both ways. So it gives you, well, more control, and particularly, like I said, I like it for using the zoom. I'm sure people will find different things. Also, now we're going to see so much in the way of high-quality slow-motion video now, people uploading, because you have 4K video at 120 frames per second recording too. So all of those neat moments, that tennis tournament where suddenly people are going, whoa, slowly hitting the ball, you've got it. Also, the camera's got some upgrades here too. The ultra-wide angle is 48 megapixel now, just like the main camera, and the quality has indeed improved. Aperture is not quite as large as the main camera, so in indoor dimly lit situations, which probably isn't where you would often use the ultra-wide unless you're a realtor taking interior shots, that will be a difference. But honestly, when taking landscape photos, outdoor photos, where most of the time you're going to be using it, it's great. It also does macros nicely. Another nice thing is improved battery life, in part because, yes, the battery actually is larger now, and optimizations with each generation of CPU. So Apple is claiming an additional 4 hours of video playback time versus the previous generation. That's nice. And particularly it's noticeable on the Pro model versus the Pro Max. So the Pro Max always had industry-leading battery life. I mean, that thing just goes, right? But the Pro is kind of like, yeah, if I was using it heavily, I wouldn't get through a day, and now I can get through a day with it. So that was just what it needed. Obviously, the Pro Max is still going to be the one that has the longest battery life, but that's nice. Also, MagSafe wireless charging now supports up to 25-watt wireless charging if you're using a 30-watt wall-wart charger plugged into that MagSafe. And there is a new MagSafe 2 wireless charger, and that one also comes finally with a longer cable, because I don't know what's with Apple and their short cables, right? These things are pricey. They could give you more cable. They are giving you more cable. Also supports Qi and Qi 2 wireless charging too, in case you're not using MagSafe, but you probably are, aren't you? Rounding up some of the physical changes here, we still have the titanium, just like last generation, around the frame of the phone. Grade 5 titanium, it's pretty hard titanium. And we have upgraded ceramic shield on the glass, supposedly 50% tougher. iPhones are pretty tough. I can tell you, I have a spouse that is a phone dropper, and it has survived years of dropping. All right, so inside, Apple A18 Pro processor, faster as ever. It's about 15-20% faster than the immediate previous generation, given that most people don't upgrade every year. You'll see, like, if you're coming from a 13 Pro, you're going to see like 40% improvement, Apple says, to 50%, depending on whether you're looking at CPU or graphics. As ever, fastest. It now benchmarks faster than any other phone on the market. Qualcomm will always be fighting back. Yay, go them. Google Tensor, not so much, you know. Anyway, fast phone, fast. Ray tracing support, all that stuff that you know about, fun to game on, and all that sort of thing. But it supports Apple Intelligence. That's their name for AI, which you probably heard about too, which isn't available at launch, which is unusual for Apple. iOS 18 is what it ships with, and 18.1 coming this fall will add the AI features, a smarter Siri. Siri ain't that smart, so it ain't that hard, right? Okay, so you're going to get the usual tools that we've seen in Windows with Copilot and Android phones and all that sort of thing. You can get summaries of web pages, because all of us are too ADD to read anything, and also to see if that web page actually has useful information or if it's just clickbait to let you know whether you really should peruse it with your own eyeballs and absorb the content therein. It can summarize other things too, email, and the usual adjust for style and tone. So if you're not the world's most gifted writer and you want to make sure that this message sounds appropriate in terms of your attitude, your tone, do you want it professional, do you want it friendly and casual, it can help you with that. We also have the ability to remove photo bombers in photos. That's much appreciated. Kind of miss that. Android phones have been doing that for a while now. So, you know, a pigeon lands at the feet of your kid when you're taking a picture. You didn't want that pigeon there. You'll be able to whack that pigeon. Not literally. You know what I mean. Remove the pigeon from the picture. Apple is not embracing the altering of seeming reality like, well, Google is, and so you can't do things like add yourself in or completely change the reality of what you're photographing. And I personally prefer that. I kind of like photographs as a representation of reality right now. And the usual stuff that we come to expect from an iPhone is here. The stuff that, honestly, you know, as a package, I might be snarky about the fact there's not a lot changing year over year here, but it's, yeah, I still get excited when these come in for review. They're still really nice phones. You've got a 120 hertz ProMotion OLED display here. And now it can go down to 1 nit of brightness instead of 2 nits of brightness. So, wow, when you're reading in the dark, it can get very dim. And it helps with power saving, too. If you're using it as a bedside alarm clock, every little bit of power saving does help. 1600 nits of HDR content brightness, 2000 nits peak. Yes, the Google Pixel 9 Pro beats it, hitting 3000 nits. To me, it seems bright enough. I'm okay with it. You've got Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.3, Apple Pay, NFC, all those usual goodnesses. 5G, both sub-6 and millimeter wave, and in the United States you get 2 eSIMs, no physical SIM card slot. Nothing has changed there. If you want to record ProRes video, which is pretty cool, the quality is very good. Apple is still classy when it comes to video quality and cinematic effects and all that. You can still plug in a USB-C based SSD. It supports 10 gigabit per second for data transfer, so you're filling up the SSD instead of your iPhone. And given how much those storage increments cost from Apple, that's a good thing if you can use external storage also. So there you have it, the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max for 2024. As ever, like I said, they're delightful products. They're lovely products. Apple supports them for years on end. You've got the AI features coming if you're excited about that. If you're not, you've got even longer battery life, bigger screens than ever. It's a pleasant experience, and maybe someday we'll see an even bigger leap in design or whatever, but not this year. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos. And thumbs up if you like this vid.